Hello and welcome to another knot tying video. Today I wanted to make a video on what are the 3 top hitches that we use in the lineman trade, and I use in my personal life at home, hauling brush around, trees, whatever the case may be. But these are the 3 top hitches that I use both at work in the lineman trade and at home. So let's hop right into it. The first hitch I use the most is probably the Munter Hitch. Now this hitch is great for rigging purposes because you can put a lot of tension on it, and the cool thing about the Munter Hitch is that it is a burn knot. So it holds under tension very great. But once you need to burn something off, you can undo the knot very easily and it'll burn off, and I'll show you right here. So here I got my fancy little handy dandy carabiner. So tie it around, looks like that, and then come back up through the carabiner. And that right there is technically your Munter hitch. Now, I always complete it with a minimum of 1/2 hitch. And if you really want to get it secure, dress that knot properly and you can throw another 1/2 hitch in it. But for just right now, I'm just show you 1/2 hitch. So there we have a Munter hitch. And now you'll see as I pull on this, it tugs, it burns just a tiny little bit. If I were to throw another 1/2 hitch in there, it ain't gonna burn at all. So as I pull it with tension on it, but as I take out this first 1/2 hitch and I keep tension here and I keep tension on your standing line here or on your working end here, as I pull on the standing line, I can give this just a little bit of release and this knot burns off. So that right there is the Munter hitch. So the Munter hitch is more so used in application where I just showed you like that, where I needed to tie around something. Let's say I could tie it around a pole if I want to also. There's your Munter hitch, and then throw in 1/2 hitch, throw in another 1/2 hitch on the standing line, and then there's your Munter hitch, and it's gonna hold all day long. Then as soon as you take out that 1/2 hitch, it'll still hold, but if there's a lot of tension on the standing end, then you can just take out this last 1/2 hitch and just keep pressure on it, and this knot just burns out. I really like the Munter hitch for that reason. Of course, now the Munter hitch, this hitch is used in just different application than the other 2 hitches that I'll show you. Now the second hitch is the Clove Hitch. Now a Clove Hitch is technically this right here is a Clove Hitch. Now I always complete a Clove Hitch with a 1/2 hitch around the standing line like that, that if I need to pull on this, that sucker will hold all day long as well. Now the Clove hitch is just used in a little bit more different application. I'm not going to use this hitch like I would use the Munter hitch, where if I had a bunch of tension on my standing end here, I can't really burn this knot off. It's not really a burn knot. I mean, I guess you could, but that's not really what this hitch is for. The Clove hitch, more so for tying your rope around an object, being able just to secure your rope around that object and get it nice and tight. So the Clove hitch is just used in different application. Where do you need a nice hitch tied around an object? It's gonna be nice and tight and secure. I would use a Clove hitch. Now I'll show you a quick little example right here as well. And I want to rig this piece of pipe for whatever reason. I'm gonna tie Clove hitch here secured with a 1/2 hitch. And then maybe I need to lift it up with the crane for whatever reason. And then I'll tie another Clove hitch over here if I want to. Now this knot ain't gonna necessarily slide around. I can pull it pretty tightly and it doesn't move. Now if I were just to tie a bowline here, the bowline's a great knot, but this slides around. The Clove hitch isn't doing that. So in this circumstance, I'm gonna use a Clove hitch, or I could use a Munter hitch as well. But in this application, I don't know. It just kind of all depends on your situation, scenario, and application that you need to use a hitch knot. But yeah, if I need to rig to a pipe or something, I'll probably use a Clove hitch. It holds really good and it'll usually always come undone. The third hitch, the cow hitch. Now the cow hitch, I really only use at work in two ways. The first way is to hang a rope sling on the rail, off a truck, whatever the case may be, just to hang a rope sling. The one and most common way you'll see a cow hitch at work is this exact reason, is just to hang rope slings off a truck, off a railing, whatever. I haven't used it so much in rigging purposes. The only way I would kind of use it in rigging purposes is this. I have my block and I need to secure my block to the pole. I'm gonna take my rope sling, my block, put the bite through the eye of the block, and then I'm just gonna tie cow hitch. Now that my block is secured to my rope sling, now I can tie my rope sling to my rigging attachment point on the pole somewhere. I'll just do it right here. And then right here, probably just tie a square knot. And there we have a nice secure block to a rope sling to a rigging attachment point. That is the second way I use a cow hitch. Now I'll show you all up close just quickly. I also have previous videos and I'll have them in the link in the description below. First up, we have the Munter Hitch. So step one, you put your working end over the object you want to tie around. You pass it under or around. And then you are going to go over your standing end here, like that. And then you are going to come up back around your object like that. That right there is technically a Munter Hitch. Then I always complete it with a minimum of 1/2 hitch, and if I have more tail, 2/2 hitches. And that right there is your Munter Hitch. The second hitch is the Clove Hitch. Clove Hitch, take your working end, pass it over around the object you want to tie around, like so, and then you're going to pass it. And then you're going to take your tail, your working end, and come up back through right here. And that right there is your Clove Hitch. And I always complete it with a minimum of 1/2 hitch as well. And that would be a complete Clove Hitch. And the whole reason for doing a 1/2 hitch is just so when you apply tension to the standing end, the knot doesn't burn, because the knot can burn and if it doesn't have a 1/2 hitch around the standing end to help it from getting loose and unjamming itself. The third hitch is the cow hitch, which you put your working end over around the object you want to tie around. You pass it across like this, go back underneath or around the object, and you go back through itself right here. And if this is going to be not you using a rigging application, I would also tie a 1/2 hitch here on your standing line, so this knot won't burn. Those are the 3 hitches that I most commonly use in the lineman trade and at home for different purposes. Those 3 knots are going to be 3 knots you'll most likely be tested on in your apprenticeship out in the field. I know from a personal standpoint in the lineman trade, I just had to get very used to just learning and tying my knots. I would get tested all the time. If I didn't know how to tie a knot, well, I'm buying beer for everybody. Those are the 3 top hitches that I would recommend to use to learn how to tie, especially if you want to get into the lineman trade. But like I said, I use them at home on personal things too. There's many different ways you can use these knots and these hitches. Rigging and tying knots is a massive, massive, massive thing inside the lineman trade. It's one of the top skills that you could learn if you want to get into the lineman trade. Know some math, some basic algebra, know your knots. Don't know a knot, tie a lot. And the third thing would be is probably reading a tape measure. Those are the 3 top hitches that I would recommend to learn how to tie, to know how to use. With Blueprint, we're here to expose, teach, and educate you about blue collar opportunities, things that'll help you in the trades. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Share this video with someone who would want to learn these hitches. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.